What's up, y'all? We live. We are live in this thing, you guys. I told you, I'm going to do a show. Did I think that show was going to be the following day? Absolutely not, but I had to get on it for you all. So we are here, we are live, and let's be a little transparent. So I was super nervous about doing a live show. Why? Why would you be nervous about doing a live show? Well, if you don't know who I am, my name is Bree, and I am a content creator. I've been a content creator for the past, I would say, 2.5 years. Like, I took it serious, and that has pivoted to me being a commentator on hot topics, celebrity gossip, etc., TV show reviews, just controversial opinions, the things, right? And so I took that to TikTok about 6 months ago, 9 months ago, 6 to 9 months ago, and it really took off. And we all know that TikTok is coming to an end. So I'm bringing my talents to YouTube. So that's why we are here today. And we are going to get right into the thing. So, first, I want to take a cheers for our first show, first live show with topics. Cheers to me. I'm drinking a little tequila, lavender syrup, and simply lemonade. And then I want another cheers for you all for joining me on my first live show, actual show, not my first live, but my first live actual show. We're going to get into the topics, but first I wanted to give a cheers. Mm, that's going to take care of the nerves and get us on the right foot. Okay. So, a little bit more about me. Like I said, I've been a content creator on TikTok. I have over 40,000 followers, and that's about to end soon. So, I had to find another platform. I had to get the show set up. Like I said yesterday, we were talking about my plans and things like that. It was more like an impromptu live, and I did not think I was going to start the show the next day, but here we are. I got my notebook. I got my topics, and we're going to get into it. Okay. And I just, again, want to appreciate everybody who's here. That's crazy. Okay. So, first thing we're going to talk about is, girl, our good sis. Hold on. And be patient with me because it's the first time I've done this live. So, we're going to go like this. And then we're going to do like this. And then we're going to do like, where it go? Oh, here we go. Girl. Okay. So, our good sis, Cardi B. Our good sis, Cardi B. Who going to tell her? Who's going to tell her? Now, Cardi B went online, I think it was yesterday or the day before, to talk about how she's estranged from her husband, Offset. And I guess she's using the internet as like a diary, or I don't know if it's for attention. I don't know if she's weaponizing the fact that he's doing her wrong to get her fans on his ass. I don't know if she's doing this. I don't think she's doing it for clout. She doesn't need any clout. But it's like, girl, we don't really care. We don't really care. When they first broke up again, it was like, girl, okay, whatever. Then she got pregnant, and it was like, really, girl, like, whatever. Then they were doing their little back and forth thing. And that was literally like when I first started doing commentating. Is it commentating? Yeah. When I first started commentating on TikTok, and a couple of my videos went viral for just talking about it and telling her, yes, Cardi, get that nigga back. Like, sorry if I use prophetic language. That's just me how I talk. But get him back. Do what you got to do to get yourself back on the right path, getting to the studio, getting to the music, loving into yourself, pouring into yourself. We want to see you with somebody else. We want to see you being a great mother. We want to see you do these things. And so for her to continue and continue to talk about Offset, it's like, girl, we really don't care no more. And it's really sad because Cardi B was, and I'm not going to say was, Cardi B is super talented. And she's one of those girls to where when she wants to pop out, she could pop out and not miss a beat. But because all of the things that she's talking about is about Offset, who socially, his social currency has gone down since he broke up. Well, since they broke up. And then also there's things about him being broke. He has a gambling addiction. He's messing with multiple women. Like, nobody's really checking for Offset. So for her to continuously talking about somebody that's not even, like, nobody's checking for, it's like your value, not your value, but your social status. Like, girl, dust yourself off. Like, it's like, when it comes to like the young rappers and entertainers and things like that, Cardi B is up there. Why are you sitting here harping on a man that you were with for a portion of your life? Yes, you have 3 kids with him, but it's just not a good look crying over this man over and over and over. Now, was he wrong? Absolutely. Is he out here doing some bullshit? Absolutely. Him not getting his kids Christmas presents is crazy, especially when you what do you call YN? I don't know what they used to call this stuff, the Migos or whatever. Everything is about money, flashy, cars, women, etc. And you out here with gambling debts, and then you didn't get your kids nothing for Christmas. That's crazy. But I just feel like for her to continuously talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, it's like, okay, girl, what are you doing? What's next? I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks like that? I just feel like she's better than what she's given herself credit for. And I'm over it. So I wanted to start with that because I'm like, I'm not going to take too long on that story at all whatsoever. um Cardi, we love you, but you gotta get it together. Okay, so let's do the next topic. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying, like, that's not what we're really looking for. Okay, I want to talk about this. This isn't a celebrity gossip. This is just a topic. Okay. So a mom came out, and I'm assuming this is a mother. She said that she's not going to give an inheritance to her sons if her sons have. Sorry, I got distracted. Not going to give her sons an inheritance if her sons have a child out of wedlock. She's not going to give her sons the inheritance if they have children out of wedlock. Hold on, I'm going to pause it. All I can say is he must got some good stuff, and that's why she's still on that man. I'm not going. Listen, I never denied his stroke. I never denied Offset's stroke. He must got a mean stroke. You're right about that. But I am saying, at a certain point, you got to get over it. Like, I'm gonna spill my tea. Hold on. Let me sip. I need a big sip for that. It's 4:00 over here. I don't know if it's 7:00 or East Coast time. So it's time for a drink anyway. But I'm gonna spill my own tea. Now, once upon a time, I was young too. Okay. And I was about the age, Cardi B's like 25. I was younger than 25. Yeah, I was younger than 25, but that's neither here nor there. I was messing with the dude, and he would do me so wrong. But my mindset was caught up on the fact of, like, I just didn't want anybody else to have him, whether it be sexually, whether it be emotionally, whether it be I had somebody by my side, regardless of, whatever. And it wasn't like he was leaving me alone. I was trying to leave him alone, but it was just something about that backstroke. You remember that song? And it keeps me again. There's something about that girl kept me hooked, and I was outside looking crazy. I was looking crazy to my family, friends, on the internet over this man that did me wrong, girl. Was doing me wrong, but it was just something about that kept me tied. And I feel like she's messing with him, or she has messed with him in that way, the duration of them breaking up. And now she's just out here crashing out every day. She's crashing out every day about this man. It's crazy. Okay, but back to this story. So this mother she pretty much said that the inheritance for her children will be revoked if they have children out of wedlock. And I want to talk about this really quick because I have an issue with parents trying to control their children beyond the grave. I really have an issue with parents trying to control children that are grown. Now, I don't know how old these gentlemen are. They look old to me. They got beards and mustaches. So we're going to say they're near the age of grown. Okay. And I'm, again, going to put myself out there. My father told me that I had to take And this is not a bad thing. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I'm just talking about the aspect of trying to control your children while they are grown. So my father put in some situation where if I have an inheritance that I have to go to school for financial literacy in order to be able to get my inheritance. And I just think that's crazy. And I don't like when parents, again, are trying to control their children in order to live the life that they feel that they should be living. I feel like a lot of times parents think being a parent is control, and it's actually allowing your children to have the space to be who they are as adults. And then you meet them where they're at, and you guys create a beautiful relationship from here on out. Now, would not having children outside of wedlock prevent some issues financially for the mom potentially and for the sons? Absolutely. But to keep to keep an inheritance, your legacy from your children, just because they had a mess up or a slip up or they got their girlfriend pregnant or whatever the case may be, I just think it's totally wrong. And I think it's controlling. It's not even like faith based. Like I wouldn't even understand if it was faith based. Like I'm a Christian and I want to have Christian values and you can't have children outside of being married and blah, blah, blah. Even if it was that, I feel like it's still disgusting. I feel like as a parent, you don't want to have your children out here in the world trying to figure shit out, especially something as far as finances. And if you can help them, especially after you pass, as being a parent, that's something you should do. But just saying like, oh yeah, if you have children outside of wedlock, I'm not gonna give you money, like that's crazy. Like, girl, you're already dead. You will already be in the great beyond. So you'll be in the great beyond. So why does it matter if your finances why does your finances only go to your children if they don't have children outside of your rules and your parameters? Like that's crazy. And from looks of it, she looked like I'm not going to talk about this lady like that. I'm not going to talk about this lady. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to say to have those kind of rules and standards, it puts a lot of pressure on people and you never know what lengths they would go to not have children. And I get it. You control, if you are looking to control someone, you do it where where it's going to hit their pockets, because that's like a lot of people's motivator is finances. But again, your children are going to grow to resent you. That's why this video's title is called Love and Resentment. And speaking of resentment, we got to go to somebody else. Hold on. Speaking of resentment, and I feel this is a lot of, parenting stuff. And I don't know, I'm currently no contact with my parent, my living parent. And that is a choice that I made over a year ago. And so a lot of times these stories, like, I don't want to say it triggers me, but I resonate with, and I just have a strong opinion about it because I know what it feels like to have like resentment or childhood issues or whatever issues based off of how you were grown up or how you were raised pretty much. And that's why we're on to this next topic right here. We're going to talk about Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer reveals she hated her parents growing up and there was so much pressure. And this one, Keke, let me start with Keke. Keke, I think she's a gem. I think she's a legend in her own aspect. Keke keeps a job. Keke keep a job Palmer. Okay, that's her name that we know her by. And Keke, I will say this, she plays into media. She plays into media the way she should, always relevant, always in the news, opening up. I think she has a book or something like that coming out. So she needs to expose certain parts of her life in order to sell books. So I appreciate her in that aspect. Get your coin, Big Mama, get your coin. Okay. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like a lot of the information that she's putting out is curated. It's not necessarily, hey Marie, it's not necessarily like constructive, like it has nothing to do with like how she became an actress, the work that she put in, things that she struggled with, the mess. We want to know the mess, okay? We want transparency on that aspect. And I feel like when all the shit came out about her baby daddy, it was like it was very hush hush, and she was playing into the media on her own terms so that it could make her look good in a certain aspect, but she wasn't being all the way truthful to us. So when she puts shit like this out, like, I hated my parents growing up, it's kind of like, okay, how many times are you going to talk about this? You talked about this in your Club Shay Shay video, and we felt bad. I should have teared for her. I was like, girl, I understand. But now for her to keep talking about the strained relationship on with her parents, it's like, girl, you have a great relationship with your parents. You talk about your relationship with your parents and all that. But I do understand how you can end up hating your parents when so much pressure is put on you to perform and to provide. I again feel very I don't the word triggered is not the right word. I resonate so much with people having resentment towards their parents because I grew up having resentment towards my parents and did not have the vocabulary to know that it was resentment. I felt like I was a bad kid, or I was selfish, or I was tripping, or I was spoiled. Those are the things that were told to me, granted. But I took on the responsibility of adults' actions. I took that on as myself. Okay. So the word hated is probably valid, but I think the word hated, I feel like is out of context, but I do think that she was under an extreme amount of pressure because she was expected to provide for her family and she was only 9 years old. Can you imagine? Can you imagine knowing that you have to go into a audition and kill this audition so that you can go on and provide for your family? Can you also imagine being in your teens and putting your sister through college? That's not your responsibility. And listen, I'm all for collective a collective household where we all help each other. Unfortunately, that's not the household I was raised in. But and I can't lie. If I had a sister or if I had a brother that was bringing in the dough and I was able to live good off of that, I can't say I was going to deny it. I can't say I was going to say no, but I do think it's wrong for parents to put financial pressures on children, on teenagers. Like, I felt like even, I don't know when it happened, but like when I became like a teenager, like I wanted a job so bad for some reason. And I felt like it was because I was always and it wasn't my mother, it was my dad. My dad always tried to teach me a lesson. Everything that I needed as a child was a lesson, was a teachable moment, was this, was that. No, I just wanted to be a kid and to buy myself things and to do things with my friends, etc. Right. And I felt the pressure of having to get a job for myself because it wasn't made available to me. Like, I felt like I had to take on this responsibility and working. All of my friends are hanging out, doing fun things. And granted, I did do some fun things, but I was working from the time I was 17. When I was 16, I was doing hair and things like that. But my mindset was always on go. I got kicked out the house when I was 18. I was not in a position to be taking care of myself at 18 years old. I was not in the position to be responsible for myself at 18 years old. And it led to me doing things that I'm not necessarily, I don't want to say not proud of, but it's just like I shouldn't have been in that position if I had parents that were taking care of me at that age. So I can only imagine what it's like to be in elementary school taking care of my family, or high school taking care of my family, not able to have the high school experience because I'm taking care of my family. That is an extreme amount of pressure. And I wonder what her parents think at this point in time. Like, I wonder if her parents think, like, yes, we did the right thing by pushing her to this point, or if they have any regrets for allowing your child to work as hard as she did to take care of their family. I don't know. What y'all think? I'm sorry. The last thing I was thinking about in high school was taking care of my family financially. And I know some children and some people in their teenage years or whatever, they don't have the choice. They have to go out and get a job. But I held resentment. I held resentment even when I was 18 getting kicked out. I feel like I have that resentment to this day because I didn't know what I was doing and it was scary and it was a lot of pressure, and pressure isn't the right word. It was scary. It was frightening, and especially being out in Hollywood. Like, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine paying everybody's bills and you barely graduated and you haven't graduated to walk the stage? And that same pressure be put on you your whole life. You think this stopped because she got grown, or her family's grown, or whatever, or her sisters is grown? No, she's still taking care of her family. It's like a lifelong thing that she has to go through because she has a talent. And I don't think that's right. I think that throughout this time, hopefully her parents have set themselves up in order to, I don't want to say, to live off her. I don't even want to say that. I want to say, like, maybe her mom was a manager and got paid for that. Like, I could understand those aspects, but it still just seems a little creepy taking from a child actress. I don't know. That's just me. I understand Kiki. We gonna give Kiki a pass. Because I would have some resentment and some anger too. How y'all feeling, y'all? I'm 20 minutes in the show. It's flying by. You guys, I literally learned how to use this yesterday. Some of you guys were on with me yesterday while I was learning how to use this application. And again, I was not planning on doing a show today, but my girlfriend was like, you got to do it. You got to get at it. You got to show up. And I was just like, fuck it. Like, we're going to figure this shit out. So I got my little topics queued up or whatever, and we're going to keep going with this thing. All right. So next topic we're going to talk about is y'all, this is a conundrum right here. Hold on. I don't want this to play, so hold on really quick. Actually, I do want it to play. I do want this to play. Hold on. So a man drove through naked and unalived himself after being exposed. I'm going to say that again. A man drove through a drive-through naked, no pants. And once he was exposed, he unalived himself. And now the family wants justice. His family wants justice. Now, this one, I'm going to actually take this off the screen because I don't, this is him, right? And she was actually recording when he pulled up. And a lot of people were asking, why was she recording? Because he's done it before. He's done it before. The only reason why somebody would be recording is either they had cameras outside and saw he was taking his pants off or did something, or he's done it before. And the family now wants justice. And I am very I have a lot of empathy for the topic of unaliving oneself because I've had close members of my family commit suicide. And so I understand how painful it is to have a family member that has unalived themselves, right? There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of guilt. You want to blame someone. You're angry at the person that did it. Let me actually keep this on the screen and just pause it. so that it can give context. Hold on really quick. Um, okay, hold on one second, you guys. Okay, one second. Okay, so I've had close members of my family unalive themselves before, and it's a very confusing time to be a friend or a family member because it comes out of left field. You don't know what happened, if they left a note, if they didn't leave a note. You want to blame somebody. You're mad at the person that did it, but you can't be mad at them because they've passed already. And so you're trying to find all these answers on how somebody can do that, how somebody can leave you. I felt like it was selfish at the time, but the person that did it was the only time they've ever been selfish. The person that unalived themselves, it was the most selfish thing that they've ever done, but that was the only time they've been selfish. So who am I? Who am I to question someone's decision um and have them stay for me, right? Like that's kind of where I've got with it through healing, through therapy, through a lot of things, through years, through time. And so saying that, I'm only saying that because the mother has now came out and wants the person who recorded this video of this man driving through the drive-through naked. She wants that person to be held accountable. And I can't agree. I can't agree. I feel like the mother is doing what a mother should do as trying to protect her child. But at the end of the day, your child was assaulting someone else. That is an assault. I don't care what anybody says. Driving through a drive-through naked and exposing yourself is assault. And she had every right to protect herself, to get evidence, and to make sure this did not happen again. Now, whether the method she used in order for this to never happen again, whether she should have called the police, whether she should have found out who he was and reached out personally, whether it was exposing him on the internet, she did what she did to protect herself. There are a lot of creeps out here. And there's a lot of people getting away with things that are scarring other people for life. And they may think of it as a kink or, I didn't really hurt anybody or I didn't touch anybody. But when does it stop? Who's to say that it wouldn't got to that point? Who's to say that you wouldn't do it in front of children? Like, sorry, y'all, it's my pets. We're going to get this show together. We're going to get it together. But let me cook. Like, who's to say that it would have stopped at a drive-through? Who's to say he hasn't done this over and over at this location and other locations? I'm not saying I wish that he would have done that to himself. I'm saying when would it have stopped? It doesn't stop. And honestly, a lot of these people, they want to get caught. Why else would you drive up to a drive-through with your pants down? You want to be seen. Now, whether he wanted to be caught by the police or his wife or whatever, probably not. That's why he did what he did. But you cannot blame this lady for exposing what happened to her. Am I wrong for that? Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Was she wrong for putting this on the internet? Or is she wrong for putting it on the internet? And does the mom have a point in wanting her to be held accountable? I don't think she needs to be exposed or doxxed or be held accountable for a decision that this man made. Like I just said, when I had to go through my healing, and I'm not gonna say who it was, but when the person in my life unalived themselves, I had to come to a point to where I said, who am I to make someone be here when they don't want to be here? I'm not encouraging what he did as far as unaliving himself. I'm just saying, like, you can't blame someone else for that person's decisions. You cannot blame anybody else. And I understand the grief process of wanting to blame somebody, but you can't blame the person that's already dead. So I get it. But ma'am, that lady's not wrong for putting him on the internet. I'm sorry. Like, you out here doing crazy shit. Crazy shit is going to get exposed. What makes you think that it's not? What makes you think in 2025 that you can go anywhere without being recorded? Anywhere you go, you could possibly be recorded, especially with your willy out. Like, am I missing something? Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was like, that's kind of, I understand the grief. I understand the confusion. I understand the sadness, but I do not understand trying to blame this lady because he was caught. Like, that's a little out there. Okay, so the next topic, you guys, is actually going to come up, but it's actually a question. And I would love to know, like, who my audience is, because a lot of this has cultural relevancy. Is it relevancy? Whatever. And some people are going to get it and some people are not going to get it. And so, and this is why I need to show up more so I can find my people and my people could find me. Because if you know, you know. Okay. So a public debate transpires as if Carrie Washington, I said Carrie, why do I keep saying Carrie Washington? Carrie Washington ain't got shit to do with this story. Okay. If Carrie Underwood deserves backlash like Chrisette Michele for Trump, girl, this little tequila Simply Lemonade has got me swerving. Deserves the same amount of backlash as Chrisette Michele for performing at Trump's inauguration. Now, if you don't know, in 2020, Chrisette Michele, I shouldn't be laughing. I should not be laughing. But the way Chrisette Michele got canceled is unheard of, especially in the Black community. Like, Black community, we don't really be canceling people like that. Like, we may have some issues with some people, but we don't just really just cancel somebody. We're not like done with nobody. We cancel Chrisette Michele. And I would say during the time, it was appropriate. I don't care. Like, I felt like, okay, so let me go back. So in 2020, I remember this vividly. Okay. Trump's administration was looking for Black artists to perform at the inauguration. And I remember Snoop Dogg got on the internet. I was on the internet that day. I was on my phone like this, and I saw Snoop Dogg. He was like, and if you guys don't know, like, I'm all into pop culture. I am so involved in the pop culture. I've watched every season of Real Housewives, Potomac, Outlet. Like, I am always on the internet. I've been on the internet since I was in elementary school. So I'm all into the things. And I love gossip. I love celebrity gossip. I love celebrity tea. And if you guys are actually available, I will be on TMZ this Friday to talk about some hot topics. So I'm all involved in the things. Like, I remember things like it's all up here. Okay. So in 2020, I remember Snoop Dogg, it was actually 2019, because at the end of 2019, Snoop Dogg was saying, like, hey, y'all, they looking for Black people to perform at Trump's inauguration, and one of y'all niggas gonna do it. I remember him saying that. And so people were like, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna perform at Trump's inauguration? Like, we thought it was a rapper. We thought it was gonna be, we didn't know who it was gonna be, but we were like, somebody stupid gonna do it. And lo and behold, it was Chrisette Michele. Now, did Chrisette Michele have a career in 2020? No. Like, I don't remember the last time I heard a Chrisette Michele song. I was listening to Chrisette Michele in 2008 when I had my car, my little Honda Civic. So she didn't really have a career at that point. She was on R&B Divas, and she just had a nasty attitude. Like, she was like one of those people that was just a know-it-all and didn't really care about anyone else but herself. But she performed at that inauguration, and she tried to gaslight us and be like, "Oh, it's going to be for the people, and I'm going to have it's my dress is going to be done by a black artist, and I have it painted by a black artist, and it's going to be relevant, and it's going to bring us together, and blah blah blah." Whatever she's trying to sell us, we didn't buy it. Girl, that bitch got canceled faster than fast. Okay, like, she was canceled ASAP. Okay, we have not heard a song. She doesn't even look the same. Like, we have not heard from that lady. But this is the thing. Carrie Underwood is doing the same thing, and she's not getting any backlash, but there's a different cultural relevancy. I keep saying relevancy. You have to understand, if you're not African American, and I'm not saying you have to be black to understand this, but it's just a different kind of betrayal to, especially back then when we were just figuring out who Trump was, and he was saying all this crazy stuff about Latin Americans and people that were immigrants and Black Americans and Chinese. Like, he was saying so much offensive shit at that time that it was just like, how dare you? We felt betrayed. Like, how dare you? Especially somebody that sings R&B. Like, nobody black was supporting Trump like that. Nobody. And here she goes singing at the inauguration. So it was a betrayal. Carrie Underwood, I don't know her political preferences, and I honestly don't care at this point. I'm not surprised by white people supporting Trump. Like, it is what it is. Like, if you support Trump and you're white, I just assume that's what you were voting for anyway. Like, especially after this last election, like, I'm not saying everybody white supports Trump or is racist or anything like that, but when I hear about, especially a celebrity like supporting Trump, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to give it that much attention, because it's like, girl, whatever. What else is going on? But should I keep saying Kerry Washington, should Carrie Underwood receive the same amount of backlash as Chrisette Michele? And I'm going to say no, because I'm not surprised by her supporting Trump. It's not a shocker. She's a person that benefits by Trump being in office. Why wouldn't she support? Trump is actually, he's trending. Like, it's no longer taboo to support Trump outwardly. So who cares? Like, no. But Chrisette Michele, we still got smoke from Chrisette Michele. I'm sorry. We still, like, if she came out with an album, it probably would flop. If she came out with a song, it probably would flop. If she came out with a TV show, if she came out with a documentary, nobody would watch. If she came out with cereal, nobody would buy, nobody would eat, nobody would support. And I'm not saying being canceled is something that she deserved, but it was like, girl, we warned you. Everybody warned you. And it wasn't about the money. People will say like, oh, it's because of the money. No, girl. Was it Questlove? Questlove was going to pay her to not perform. He was going to pay her the same amount of money that she did get for performing to not perform, and she still performed. So no, baby, you don't get no sympathy from me. You don't get no, we're not blaming anybody else for your decisions that you made in 2020, girl. like, no, ma'am, we're not doing that. And Carrie Underwood, girl, Carrie, good luck and enjoy. That's all I gotta say. It's not gonna do nothing for her career. She's already popping, so it's whatever. And it's not about not having the same standards for a white woman as I do for a black woman. It's just like nothing surprises me anymore. Like 2020 was a crazy year. 2020 was significant, and Chrisette Michele fell on the wrong side of history without knowing what was going to happen with the protests that were happening for Breonna Taylor, for who there was so many people had passed. George Floyd, like we didn't know that was going to happen, but there were so many things ahead of time that was kind of giving us a preview, like, girl, you better get ready. So when she supported Trump, it was like, girl, you're supporting Trump, and then all this shit happened, girl, you're canceled. But I don't know. I really don't care. But I just thought that was an interesting topic. Like, since when are we expecting white people to have since when are we expecting white people to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stand up for everybody's rights? The girl, that does not happen. I mean, maybe once in a while, but it's not gonna happen on a when it comes to getting your coin in the biggest stage of like this. The inauguration is going to be the biggest inauguration, I feel like, because there was so much controversy and there's so many people outwardly supporting Trump or that did not support Trump before that are supporting him now. And so I'm definitely not watching. I'm very Michelle Obama to the bullshit. Michelle Obama said, I'm not coming. And I made an announcement that I'm not coming. And I don't think Michelle is sick. I don't think Michelle got a sick family member. I don't think Michelle has anything going on that day. I think Michelle is going to be on her couch in her bonnet doing something else besides anything else besides watching Trump get into office. Hello? And I feel her. And I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm actually going to be trying to prepare a show for you all because this is what we're doing now. And I would love some feedback, y'all. Like, this is my first show, and so I'm just trying to see how it goes and then make sure that I got everything rolling right. And so we're going to go on to the next topic. Do I want to talk about that topic? Let me see. Okay, we're going to talk about the next topic. Okay, so Kirk claps back at users who call him a cheater. And Kirk and Rashida, if you don't know who I'm talking about. Now, Kirk has infamously cheated on Rashida, had a baby. It was all exposed on Love and Hip Hop. And since then, we just treat Kirk like a low down, dirty dog. It don't matter what he do for Rashida. It doesn't matter what apologies take place. It doesn't matter what he buys for Rashida, what he pays for. We still think as Kirk being just a low down, dirty dog. And he's tired of it. So we are going to play. Actually, he cussed a lot on here, and I'm trying to get monetized. So let's not play it. But he pretty much was saying, like, I had one slip up with my wife in 25 years, and y'all call me cheater, pumpkin eater. Like, where are the bitches that I've messed with? Where are the bitches that I cheat with? Y'all miserable. Y'all don't have no families. Y'all don't have no loves. Y'all don't have nobody to be with. So why am I the cheater after all these years? And I've been married for 25 years in the industry. Kirk, I'm going to tell you right now. Nobody cares what you do for Rashida from here on out. You made a lifelong decision to make a baby with another woman. Rashida is going to have to deal with that forever. So if Rashida got to deal with something forever, you got to deal with this forever. Yes, you will be known as a cheater because you cheated on your wife and you created a child that is going to be around for the rest of your life. How are you mad about people calling you a cheater? Now, I would get like, okay, like, we've moved past this. We have a system going. We are stronger than we've ever been. Like, I can understand it from that aspect. You're tired of hearing about it. But a lot of the shit that goes on with Love and Hip Hop from here on out, he plays into, like, the last season of Love and Hip Hop, it was all about his relationship with Jasmine, and Jasmine was on there popping her shit like, oh yeah, here comes the Frost family. Yeah, I want more money. Yeah, I want my money. Blah blah. He tried to see me naked. He tried to get me to fuck again. He tried to. That's all what was last season. So if you want a different identity, you have to show up your own identity by yourself. You can't have the same shit going on and being like, oh, I'm a new person. I'm a different person. When the whole season, last season you were on, you were flaunting your other baby mama on the show. Like, girl, please. Rashida looked tired. She got bags in her eyes. She's a beautiful lady, but damn. Rashida looked like she's been going through it. And if she's going through it, it's because of you. So I'm sorry, you don't get no passes, buddy. You did not get any passes. I feel like once a cheater, always a cheater. Because just because you don't act on it, you think about it. Or it could easily get to that point because you've already done the act. So I do not believe that Kirk is just walking around just all about Rashida, all about Rashida. I think because of where he's at right now and settling down, he's all about Rashida. But I don't think it's like a conscious decision that he made to be like, oh, I'm just going to be committed to my wife and that's the only person I want. I think he wants other people. He just don't want to be called a cheater or get caught again because it was so embarrassing and people already think he's the scum of the earth. And so he's just trying to not be the scum of the earth. That's the only reason why he hasn't cheated. Not because he's just this high and mighty man. I don't know. That's just my thinking. Those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. And honestly, I'm going to say it is getting a little bit old. Like, I watched Love and Hip Hop last season and it was very old, talking about the same people, the same shit. And the same thing with Yandy and Mendeecees. Like, girl, Yandy has been with Mendeecees for X amount of time and that man do not want her. I did see something that they were filing for divorce soon and it's probably true, but it's like, girl, you're not even actually, now that I think about it, Yandy's not even married. She told us that she was married, but she's not even married. Yandy said that she doesn't want any kind of like joint anything on paper because, you know, he has child support. He probably has to pay restitution for when he was in jail, all those things. So she doesn't want anything on paper. So girl, you can literally just pack your shit up and go. You don't have to do all this long drawn out shit announcing that you're separating from him. Girl, just show us better than you could tell us, please. Because that man don't want you. We could see it all over his face. Every season, he's like, why am I here? But anyway, though. Alrighty, y'all. So I've been on here. Oh my God, I cannot believe I was on here for 47 minutes. Like, it just flew by. What I'm going to try to do is every day. I don't think I can do every day. Maybe I can do every day. That's the only way I'm going to get better. That's the only way I'm going to be able to grow my audience. That's the only way I'm going to gain my confidence is if I'm on this thing every motherfucking day. So we are going to see. I would like to do, what's today? Wednesday. I would like to do Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I feel like that's a good rhythm 3 times a week. If you guys have any other suggestions, let me know. I'm going to try to work on getting my intro, my outro. What else am I going to try to do? I think that's it. Get better at like shuffling I do have another monitor, like for the streaming platform that I'm using. It would be great with another monitor, so that I can just kind of click onto the stories a little bit faster. I think I did pretty good today, but I would love to be faster for a better experience for you all during the show. We're going to see. And there's a lot of things happening in the next few days. Like I said, TikTok is about to be up out of here. And I really, really, really want to get my content off of my TikTok. I have so much content, y'all. But it's like, I don't want my YouTube to just be like a snapshot of my TikTok, although my TikTok performs really well. So I'm just trying to get all of my content off of my TikTok in the next 3 days. Like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm a little sad. Hold on real quick. I'm a little sad. And speaking of TikTok, they ain't paid me yet. Today, we're supposed to get paid today. And they have not paid me my coins yet. What's going on? What's going on? Anybody get paid on TikTok yet? Where are my coins? But yeah, I can't believe that. I've really been struggling, y'all. Like, when it comes to the type of content that I want to do, if you guys are on Instagram, follow my handle, Bliss with Breeds, down here at the bottom. you guys can see how different my TikTok is than my Instagram. My Instagram is aesthetic. Well, for the most part, like on my main profile, it's aesthetic, it's pictures. It's pretty much from when I was a micro influencer and was trying to be an influencer. And I loved being a micro influencer. I love the experiences. I loved going out to eat. I loved to get dressed, all those things. But girl, it was a lot to deal with. And it was so superficial. I feel like there was not a way for people to get to know me while being a micro influencer because everything was so like polished and it had to be edited and it had to be I had to have a hook and I had to have my makeup done. Y'all, this is no makeup. I put some lip gloss on today. I put a little concealer on because the video I did yesterday, my girlfriend was like, "Oh, you don't got no makeup on?" She was like, "Make sure tomorrow you put some under your eyes or something because you look a little." And I said, "I know I look a little dry, I look a little rough. The lighting wasn't good. I got a new light today." So I just felt like it was just so impersonal. It was like, look at me go out to eat. Look at me go to this winery. You have to try. Look at me eat this Mexican food. It's so delicious. Like that's the kind of that's the kind of content I was doing. And it was cool for what it was cool for. Like I learned a lot. I met a lot of great people. I got a lot of great contacts. Like my network, as far as like my network and people that I fuck with to this day. Like there's friends that I talk to almost every other day from that part of my life. But as far as what I see for myself and being able to show up who I am, being able to talk about the things I want to talk about, the things I personally like watching, and getting into and eating my snacks and drinking my drink and gossiping about and talking to my friend like, "Oh girl, did you hear about that?" Like that kind of aspect of community that I want to have, I cannot do that by being an influencer. First of all, nobody likes influencers. Everybody hates influencers. Now, why they hate influencers, I do not know. But I think it has to do with it just not being personable. Like everybody is not able to have those experiences. And I'm not going to say it's resentment, but it's like, what else is there to you? Girl, we don't care about the enchiladas that you had. We want to get to know you. And I feel like that's a little bit of what I was scared about getting on YouTube because I was like, I have to be personable. Like, I have to show up as me. Like, you can't pretend on this thing. You cannot pretend on live. I'm sorry to tell you, like, I was hella nervous today. And I'm not saying I got on here trying to pretend, but I'm just like, I'm going to be myself. And sometimes showing up as yourself is a little scary. Showing up unapologetically yourself, showing up as you are is a little scary. And choosing to do that is something that I had to really, really, really work on. Like, can y'all believe I wouldn't? You see my hair? You see my hair? I've been growing out my locks for over 2 years. Can y'all believe that I would not wear my hair out because I was scared of how I was going to be perceived? How sad. Let me weep for myself. How sad is that? How sad is that you feel like you can't wear your natural hair because you're going to get judged? Like, it's like, okay, boom. In corporate world, when I was working at a job and I was in an office with toxic masculinity and just climbing a corporate ladder and trying to be accepted in a world that was not even set up for me to be successful in, like all that stuff I took with me to my own platform. Can you imagine? Like, it's one thing to do that at your job. It's another thing to do that on your own shit. And I was doing that on my own shit. I was trying to make sure that my hair was laid, that I didn't, my hair had to be like laid down. Like I would not wear my locks. I would wear wigs. Like, and I don't get me wrong, I love a wig. I'm about to get a wig installed soon. I love getting my hair done, but it was like, that's different than like, oh, I love dressing up. I love putting on my shit. I love being that bitch. Than feeling like I'm not of value or these people won't like me and connect with me because my hair's not done. Now, that's a whole Black woman struggle that we all go through, but bitch, I'm in my 30s and I was still going through that shit. Okay. So that was a little sad. But I'm getting through it. I got through it. And like I said, YouTube is going to really show me what I'm made of. And I'm excited for the journey. Like, I'm excited. I appreciate everyone that has came through today, that has shown love. I got 2 comments. That's 2 more comments than I would have had if I didn't show up. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I will make sure that I'm here on Friday. And that is it for my stream today. Bye.